guys, Aaron Teal here with Into Marine, and welcome to the Advantage Series. We're a multi-line dealer crazy about fishing. We carry Vexus, Phoenix, Camus, and Triton boats. And we're gonna take a real close look at these boats today. Let's get started. We're back, standing in front of an absolute wave-crushing Chariot, whether you fish Leech Lake, Lake of the Woods, Mille Lacs Lake, Devil's Lake, the Great Lakes. This is a stallion multi-species boat, custom Mercedes paint job. That's right, this is the DVX22 from Vexus Boats. We're gonna look inside, outside, everywhere around this boat. Let's check it out. So the DVX22 has quickly developed a reputation as a big water poster child. A few things that make it that way, starting with the hull here. Compared to what you're traditionally seeing in a boat, what Vexus has incorporated into this hull, a more aggressive dead rise at the front, so they're running a 19-degree dead rise in the boat. The biggest thing you'll notice is that pad bottom is carried all the way to the back, and that boat really doesn't flatten out back here. So if you're taking waves, you know, behind the windshield, it really lands soft and knocks that spray away. Another thing they're incorporating is deeper chines. So you're gonna notice that this boat is massive to take rough water, but it turns like an 18-footer. Due to that, they're incorporating setback into the hull as well. Good reverse chines and Bennett trim tabs come standard on the DVX22. Also comes standard with a manual jack plate. We've upgraded this one to a hydraulic, but ultimately, the back end here is really something special compared to what we've seen in the marketplace. We're really in the crock pot looking at the meat and taters now. When I say it's a deep hull, it's a deep hull. Put your transducer up and away. You can see that chisel. She's ready for big water. Walking towards the front, you're gonna notice they're using a little different chisel on the bottom of this boat versus what we've seen from in the past from them with the Ranger boats. Is they're running a convex kind of chisel here versus a concave. And what that does is it lands softer based on their testing, and it tracks better than that concave design we're seeing from other boats. Now, a couple other aspects up here. They've got a recessed keel guard spot for your Hamby's keel guard, so there's really nothing for water to grab and peel off over time. They're running very deep chines, and then the reverse chines here really throw water away. And going up higher, you'll notice that pickle fork front deck here. What that does, it additionally makes that boat not sink into the waves as much and knocks that spray away. And for you guys who like to musky fish, walleye fish in the wind with two guys up front, it also provides a lot more space to fish off of. But the boat, when you drive the boat in waves, it truly feels like you're driving your pickup truck down the freeway. It's solid, there's no vibration, there's no hitting hard, worrying about your back, worrying about things like that, because this hull is designed to take the big stuff. Let's hop in this thing. So before we hop up into the boat, I do want to show you some really cool attributes here. Whether you're getting into the boat, starting out your day, or closing the boat down at the end of the day, Vexus truly makes it a breeze. And to minimize you climbing and tripping over things, they've added this awesome rear access panel here. And the service department at Into Marine has done absolutely custom rigging to this. So this looks a little bit different than what you'd see on a normal boat. We've added an extra cutoff switch to this, but as you can see here, closing that boat down at the end of the day, starting that boat up before you put it in the lake is an absolute breeze. You don't have to climb in and dig for stuff. You don't have to climb in the boat, shut things down. It's all right here. So typically there'd be your plug right here, but we kind of custom rigged some stuff. If you're particular about your depth finders and stuff, we do offer a lot of custom options, and these guys do a great job. They've rigged hundreds of fishing boats at a very high level. So very lucky to have those guys keeping our promises. On this boat, we've got a main cutoff for the boat right here. We added a custom cutoff for the electronics here. You got your drain plug here. You plug your boat in at the end of the day. We've rigged it to make it easy in one spot for him. So when you're done for the day, you don't have to climb back in, and it's an absolute breeze. If you've got kids or you like to go swimming, there's a boarding ladder that folds out here and a kickstand for that so it doesn't ding up your trim tabs. And bolt buckle tie downs here really makes it a breeze, and you don't have to climb in and out all the time. But without further ado, let's hop in this chariot and take a closer look. So we're in the boat now, and I want you guys to give us a call and ask us about this industry secret here. It's not what you think it is, and it really is something cool that improves the performance on the boat. But with the Vexus, the big thing you're gonna notice with this boat, there's no cheap things around the boat. It's truly a premium put together product without cheap components. You know, you got stainless rod holders, so if you're trolling planer boards, you can put that one out of the way so, you know, salmon or walleye isn't tangling the other one. Even on these grommets on the back where your live well pump out goes or your bilge pump shoots out, it's stainless, it's nice. These recessed cleats, stainless, heavy duty. Some other things, so this boat comes standard with rails. You can get them in standard or long, or if you like to do a track system at Intune Marine here, we can custom install Traxtex, Cisco's. We can do a custom Cisco deal back here. Out of any way you like to rig the boat for your rod holders, we're typically able to do it as long as we can get the parts. And right up here, they put tool holders right where you need them. So if you're trolling, catching some fish, you can grab that pliers, take that shad wrap out of the walleye or Lindy rig or whatever. And it's all easy to access and built to last. So climbing into the boat here, you're gonna notice, we're gonna start in the cockpit. Let's take a look. Along with awesome fit and finish, another advantage on the DVX22, you get a very spacious cockpit in this boat without sacrificing storage. So you'll notice there's a spot for 2 more seats in here. We kept them out just to show you the boat here, but there's good leg room for these rear seats. So if you're swiveling, you're not bumping your knees into things too much, and it's really good there. Another thing, they've angled these lids to optimize both the cockpit and the storage. So you're able to get close to the side of the boat to, you know, if you're trolling, you're not, you know, too far away from that. And then you still have plenty of room for all your tackle. You've got your bottom bouncers, your musky baits, your Lindy rigs, your shad wraps, whatever the heck you need to fit in the back of the boat, planer boards, whatnot. You've got plenty of space to do it. And then also provides a larger rear platform if you're doing a lot of casting. It's really a perfect happy medium and a perfect balance for multiple types of fishing, and really still allows you to troll good out of it. Going into the storage here, you're gonna notice heavy duty gas pistons, heavy duty stainless steel latches, pressure plates, and quality stuff designed to protect your investment. Big advantage with the Vexus boats, and they do not skimp on anything here. Along with that, we've got additional storage. So you've got these fold out trays here that provide additional storage and kind of a quarter casting platform too. So you have plenty of casting platform, and then this will fit 8 to 10 3700s in these or anything else you like to put in the boat. Nice access hatch here for your live well pumps and other things like that, and a controller for the live well right here. Coming back, this boat here in particular does not have the intensive care live well system. That is something that you can add in the Victor package or stand alone, but they've got a very large live well here, and if you go with that intensive care option, they put a lid on this so that you can actually fill that to full and put those fish in a neutrally buoyant environment so the water's not kicking them around. So if you're a rough water guy and you're gonna be dragging a bunch of walleyes, you know, across a long run, you can get that intensive care live well option in the Victor package or alone, set that live well to full, and it'll put those fish in a neutrally buoyant environment, keep them alive, and to weigh in or wherever you need to take them safely. So big live well, it'll fit a big old northern pike, probably fit a muskie, probably fit a couple of 30-inch walleyes ×5, plenty of space in the DVX live well with a heavy duty gas piston. There's really no corners cut on that. And then rear boxes, they've got a cooler back here in this box, so you can use this as a cooler, dry storage, whatever you need to use it for. It's insulated, so it'll hold ice for a very long time. And then it's offered with a 4-bank or 5-bank charger. A lot of guys with the 400 Verado kicker package are going with a 5-battery system. Looking in this boat's got one charger here, and then it looks like we rigged a lithium system here. So if you go with the standard 5-battery system from Vexus, you're gonna get 2 chargers in here, a 3-bank and a 2-bank, and a little bit extra storage for other things. If you got a raw water washdown pump, that would go in here as well. But the big thing I wanted to note with the cockpit here in Vexus is you're able to fit all the batteries in one compartment, okay? So on most boats, you're playing Jenga with the crank battery and the house battery in this corner, and then your trolling motor batteries are up under your rods where you gotta pull out 14 rods to get to those. So really nice that Vexus put that all in one spot here. So you can put 5 batteries in this. He's got a really kind of custom lithium setup in this boat. We can do that absolutely. But if you're ordering this from the factory, 4 batteries and a charger, or 5 batteries with your charging system back here is how that will come. They put a heavy duty gas piston on this, so this isn't beating down your toes, making you have 9 toes instead of 10. So they thought of that. Heavy duty piston. You can lock all of these up. These are lockable compartments, so really easy to keep things nice there. And then something a lot of people don't talk about, but it's a big deal, is water evacuation. So you're gonna notice they got Bob Dylan / Tom Petty harmonica size floor drains in the back, and there's no carpet in the cockpit here, so there's no carpet to wear under those floor drains and get clogged up. So you're not gonna be ankles deep in water in this cockpit because it gets the heck out of here. So good drainage system, good water evacuation system, designed to keep this boat and your things dry. Let's hop up to the cockpit. Coming up to the passenger side of the cockpit, first thing I want to note, you've got really good bracing for your legs, so if you are in rough water, you're able to grab onto things. This boat is available with airwave pedestals, which maximizes that hull ride even further. And talking about your wife or your fishing buddy, it's a really nice glove box here. It's a 2-story glove box, so you're able to keep your keys on top, other things on bottom. Your stuff's not getting lost up in the cave, never to be found again, or you know, you got that sunscreen hanging out 5 years later. Where the heck did that come from? Not gonna happen in this glove box. They've got a seal on it as well, and a slam latch. Easy open, easy close. You can lock your wife's purse away in that, keep it safe if you stop up at the bar. You'll fit her Yeti mug or your fishing buddy's Yeti mug right here at the cup holder. Polk stereo, so she or he can choose the tunes, and then a nice spot for your phone, and a charger built in there, so you can keep that phone tucked away and charging. And then rods, you've got a very ambidextrous rod spot here. So this has anchor light in here, but you can put your rods either tips or butts first, and orientate a bunch of rods over here. So if you've got some like extra long trolling rods, those can fasten in right here, and lots of space for that stuff, easy to access. They've got really nice stainless trim throughout the boat that really sharpens things up. LED interior lights look awesome. We'll get into the windshield, but let's hop over to the driver's seat here. So we custom rigged these 2 Lowrance HDS 12s here at Intune Marine, but you can rig these right from the factory. The first thing you'll notice is the sight lines on this boat are awesome for both your graphs and seeing where you're going. This windshield is designed so that you can look barely over it and have that wind not hit you in the face or under it. So if you got a foggy morning and that windshield's foggy, you can keep your eyes right above it and not have the wind drying your eyes out. So that's really nice here. We've got an Italian leather wrapped steering wheel here. It feels awesome. We've added a hydraulic jack plate to this boat, so I've got good control of that stuff right here. trimming the jack plate. So awesome paddle shifters here for that. This one has a regular ignition. You can order this with the Coast key. That's included in the Victor package, which would be a digital start with a wireless kill switch. And just really, I'm not looking down at one graph. These graphs are right where they're supposed to be. These Bennett trim tabs we're having custom installed up here from Vexus, so I've got easy control of these. When that boat's in that throttle position, if I'm quartering in waves, I'm able to bump one side up and have that boat level out. And then if we're tracking in 3-footers, I can bump them down a bit and have that bow really ride right where it needs to be. So that's all easy to control right here. Another thing, so Vexus, they're doing their own switches, and everybody's going digital. And I just want to mention that digital's all cool, but it has to work. What Vexus has incorporated is not only they're pretty cool looking switches, but they're very reliable. This is an elevator button company. And the biggest thing when we're talking about lights, bilge pumps, live wells, bait wells, those types of things, they gotta work. And each of these have individual fuses. So unlike those digital screens that control everything that are rigged to one fuse, if that fuse blows, you lose everything. Well, with these, everything's rigged to its own fuse and its own circuit breaker. So you're able to identify a blown fuse a lot easier. But we don't have a lot of them because, to be honest, they're using heavy gauge copper tin wire for these boats, and we've had just pure reliability with the switching on them. Along with that, you got a phone charger, all that good stuff. You got a nice spot for your phone right here, so that's something that's kind of nice. You can keep that out of the way. That's not flying up on you in rough water, and you can put it face down if you need to get away from the world. But yeah, awesome cockpit design. The big thing I want to note is these consoles are placed on top of the structure of the boat. Most consoles on these fiberglass boats are like literally their own structure placed into the boat, and the windshield rests on that. We're going to get into the windshield and how that's different. But the big thing to note with this is there's zero vibration when you drive the boat. So kind of like driving your pickup down the freeway, it's literally an experience you need to feel for yourself. No cheap stuff on this console. I mean, we've cut these open. They're heavy duty fiberglass stuff built to take rough water, and it's just not something we're seeing in other boats. So awesome stuff here. No plastic cheap chintzy stuff to go bad over time. It's truly gonna hold up. So getting more into the windshield, let's look. So the windshield. You just maybe notice I put all my weight on that. I'm not the biggest feller, but the windshield is really something special with this boat. You take one look at it, you can tell it's heavier duty stuff than what we're used to seeing. And there's quite a few attributes that make this windshield a true advantage and something we've never seen before. If you need a big water multi-species boat, you better have a big water multi-species windshield. And Vexus has really led the charge with this one. So as I was saying before, they're placing those consoles on top of the structure of the boat. They're doing the same thing with the windshield. So you'll notice up here that windshield, there's no seams on this console here. So typically on most boats, you'd see a line right here where that console's placed in on the side. But this windshield is truly mated with the structure of the boat. So those consoles are placed on the structure of the boat. The windshield's placed on that structure of the boat. What does that create? A more solid windshield. That's why I can pretty near do pull-ups off this. So it's mated with the hull of the boat, and then you've got these really heavy-duty access spots to these heavy-duty consoles. So there's nothing cheap on this thing. It's absolutely solid. You can lean on it, and there's really no flex in the windshield. It's not going to sag over time after a 4-footer on leach. And it's designed to take what you put it through. Let's go to the front deck. So Vexus definitely kept the angler in mind with the bow of this boat. It's a big advantage. So we have a lot of space up here. So like I was saying earlier with that pickle fork front deck, it really knocks the spray down with that wider front, but it also provides a wider platform up here. So you can have two guys live sculpting off the front, jigging walleyes. You can be casting forward with two guys up front. Your wife and kids can Netflix and chill up here. There's lots of stuff you can do. So, super customizable. So this boat, we've added two Lowrances along to go with the two Lowrances at the console with active target. So this guy's ready to catch some fish, but we can do dual Humminbirds, Lowrance Humminbird, Garmin, whatever you want here, we can do this at the dash. This is their dual stacker plate option. Standard would be just awesome beefy aluminum plate that can flush mount up to a 12-inch screen. But if you want two units, they can do that. They got a heavy duty mount for that. It looks super clean. This has the Lowrance Ghost. They can do Alteras, Ultrex, all kinds of stuff there. And there's just really no corners cut when you get to the bow of this boat. You're gonna notice the carpet trim is aluminum. It's not rubber. So that rubber stuff tends to shrink or expand over time due to heat and weather. This aluminum is going to stay nice and clean and fresh for you for years to come. It looks better too, not to mention. The trim buttons are heavy duty stainless trim buttons. You got built-in integrated navigation lights. Depending what trolling motor you go with, you can get a recessed or non-recessed foot pedal. So they really kind of make it so that you can order the boat the way you want it. Along with that, when you've got a real pointed nose on some of these boats, it makes it really cumbersome getting in and out. So that pickle fork front deck really actually allows a spot for you to get in and out of the boat. And they've got an awesome step that we'll show you later. But just another attribute, big cup holder up here for a 32-ounce Gatorade, Yeti, whatever you like to keep cold. And the platform up here is huge. So you got plenty of space. You got two spots for your bike seat or a fold down seat, depending if you got long legs like me or short legs. So they got that factored in. And there's not a lot of multi-species boats that make it easy for you to keep multiple presentations on the front. I know most of you guys are dialed in, you know what they're gonna eat, but however, you know, wind changes, weather changes, the fish move, their mood changes. It's good to throw multiple presentations at them, and it's good to not waste time doing it. So they've got rod buckles on the front, and then they put recessed spots for your rod tips. So you're not beating into the windshield. We know you get nice rods, so we want to protect those. Vexus has done that with that. Let's get into storage and some of that stuff. So the Vexus, this has industry-leading storage, and they make everything in-house, including the lids for these boxes. The first thing I wanted to note is they think every little inch of this boat through, even down to the angle of the storage boxes up front. So on the DVX22 here, you'll notice that this front box is angled this way, and that's designed for your rods when they're strapped down. And you open this lid up, it's not breaking them or kicking them away. So they angle these lids very smart. Another thing to note is Vexus is building their lids out of fiberglass in-house. So what you get with that is there's zero flex in these lids. So, you know, me and Shaquille O'Neal can jump on this lid and it's not gonna flex or feel like I'm falling through it. And it's just really quality stuff that's built to last a lifetime there. Heavy duty gas pistons, so that stainless pistons on all the lids, that lasts a long time. Stainless latches like we were talking earlier. These are beefier and nicer than we've seen in other boats. And they're putting that striker plate everywhere. So what you're gonna find with this boat is it's probably some of the deepest storage we've ever seen in a multi-species boat. These storage boxes, there's no carpet in them. They craft these boxes with closed mold technology in-house. So really, there's no water, mold, or mildew hanging out in these, so they dry quicker. They don't get wet, but if you were to experience some condensation, It dries much quicker than carpet. You don't have a treble hook hanging on the side of the locker. All kinds of stuff. And these things are huge, and I'm just gonna show you real quick just how big they are. You can probably fit 2 of me in this one. See you later. So yeah, they're huge. You can stack 2 teals in this box, or a bunch of 8-foot rods, either or a bunch of tackle. It's got room for all of it. So plenty of space in here. Another thing to note, they're putting drainage systems. So what nobody talks about on boats is the water evacuation and how these boxes stay drier than any other boat we've seen. Well, a lot of that has to do with they're putting the Hoover Dam between these lockers. So these channels, or this dam here, is going to be about 1/2 inch deeper than their competitors. And that water, when it pools up, that's how it gets in these boxes. Well, they make sure it doesn't, so all that stuff's able to channel down and away and into those Tom Petty harmonica floor drains we were talking about earlier. So really good water evacuation system. They've got heavy duty seals around these lids to protect that water from getting in. And those stainless latches press that lid down on that seal to create a truly watertight fit. Because we spend thousands and thousands on nice equipment, and Vexus definitely kept it in mind to protect them. Heavy duty fiberglass lids, heavy duty gas pistons, and these lockers are very versatile. So you're able to put rods in the center box or this box, 8-footers. This one will fit 8.5 right here. And then they also put a tackle organizer in. So believe it or not, with this boat, you can actually put rods and tackle in this. So tackle below, rods above. Or if you like to keep all your rods over here, you can fit a muskie department worth of muskie baits in here, or a walleye department worth of walleye baits in either of these boxes. So anyway, you get it. There's a pile of storage. We're gonna hop over here to this side. So DVX22, it comes standard with a bait well, or you can use it as a cooler up here, so it's going to keep your minnows alive. And then another massive dry box up here for tackle, life jackets, anything you like to keep dry and safe is going to fit up in the front of this boat here. There's no shortage of storage, no shortage of fishing space, not a corner cut when it comes to quality. Pretty cool stuff from Vexus Boats. So one thing I forgot to mention, if you go with the Victor package, this is included in that, or you can order this separately, but they are offering that EVA on the center box here. So if you just caught a bunch of walleyes on jigging wraps and you got to retie and it rained an hour ago and you just took your rain pants off, your butt's not getting wet right here. Big advantage, that's a high traffic area, so that carpet's not getting matted down where you're going to be stepping and walking the most. That's a big advantage with that. And then that lid, they'll custom match your accent. Now we went with a black interior, so there's not as much contrast here, but that accent on the side of the boat would also match on the rim of this lid. So awesome stuff there. And then this EVA stuff, they came out with a new product. It cleans up better than anything we've seen, and it looks drop dead sexy. So first thing, so Vexus A, they've got an awesome trailer step design, but one thing about Vexus Boats that you're not gonna get with another boat brand is they build their own trailers in-house. It's probably the most overlooked item on a boat, and that's why a lot of manufacturers aren't doing that. Well, Vexus, they really keep the quality in mind. They want they want you to get to the lake, and they want your boat to fit absolutely perfect on the trailer. So they build the trailers custom match to fit the boats, and the boats custom match to fit the trailers. So awesome stuff there. This step is something we haven't seen. So with some steps, you take too hard of a right, or you need to jackknife it into the garage, you can sometimes ding up your bumper or tail light or what have you. So Vexus has invented the first pivoting trailer step I've seen. So when you're towing it, pivot it right here, so that way you're able to have full turning radius. But when you need to get into the boat, you just pull this lever, pivot it over, hop, skip, jump into your chariot, and you're good to go fishing. So that's awesome. They've incorporated all the awesome stuff we need in a boat. Swing away tongue, heavy duty winch and jack here. So easy up, easy down there. They're using a C-channel frame on their trailers so that doesn't hold water or moisture if you're fishing late into the fall, trolling sucker minnows or catching walleyes there. And the paint they're using on these trailers is going to be a rugged paint that doesn't chip up and whatnot, and then it's also UV resistant. So while that boat's out on the water, trailer's getting beat on by the sun at the ramp, it's not fading it over time. So the trailer is built to look nice for a long time. Doesn't take 3 gallons of vinyl cleaner to clean the trailer off. And the trim is built to custom match the boat. So the trailer looks like it's supposed to be there. And then they build their own fiberglass fenders for these in-house. They actually put that rock guard on the front of this to protect the rock chipping there, and custom matched with the boat. If you go with polyflake, you can do all kinds of stuff. But another thing, they use torsion axles on their trailers versus leaf springs. A couple things you're gonna get with that is it tows a lot smoother. When you make those hard turns at the ramp, you don't have the where they can hear you coming, if you know what I mean. And you can really feel that when you tow it down the road. It's the smoothest towing trailer that we've used to date. Boat buckle tie downs, easy up, easy to close down the boat. At the end of the day, we've got LED marker lights with built-in reverse lights. So, you know, if you're backing in on a dark morning, it'll light that ramp up for you. And beautiful 17-inch rims, standard. This is the dark gray color. You can get this in dark gray, chrome, or Hot Wheels red. And no one's offering that. Awesome tires, custom match trailer, match custom boat, built in-house. That's a Vexus trailer. So another thing we haven't seen from other boat manufacturers, in fact, if you did this, it would void your warranty. Not on the Vexus, because they've overbuilt their transom to take shallow water anchors, kickers, all the force we put on these boats. So they actually offer a shallow water anchor mount right on the transom. So if you wanted to add a talon, so you'd be stealthy in that 15-foot or less zone, or you don't like drift socks, so you're drift paddling down that reef edge, you're able to mount these right to the transom. So when you're in rough water, what does that equate to? It equates to a lot less vibration and stress on this. Stress on your bolt, stress on the transom. It provides very clean stuff there, so there's less vibration in that anchor. Also, it looks a lot nicer. And yeah, it's mounted right to the back, doesn't void warranty. It's supposed to be there. So you want shallow water anchors on your Vexus? No problem. So these boats are customizable as heck. There's a couple different color or paint variations they offer. What I'm standing in front of is the automotive hard case paint option. That's a $3,500 upgrade, and they custom post paint that boat exactly how you want it. So they offer some awesome automotive colors right from the factory, or else if you got a pickup truck you want to match down to the paint code, they can do that. Like I said, this one's a custom Mercedes-Benz color. I think it's called like Selenite Gray Magna or something. Anyway, that's an option, or else they are offering a standard polyflake option. So lots of options with that. I kind of got my samples sandwiched a weird way, but lots of polyflake colors. So you can do a single tone polyflake, no problem. And then this year they're offering the 2-tone option. We'll show you that here, and then which offers a stripe here, and then that inside deck would change colors. And then they're also offering an interior polyflake option. So lots of customizable stuff with Vexus, and their seats are beautiful, and you can pick those to match. So you've got awesome seat colors depending how, you know, what colors you go with there. Custom matched carpet and flooring material. So it's got to be your boat, and you can build it the way you want it. So probably one of the most important aspects about the Vexus that I have to bring up, and a lot of people aren't showing you, is how they're being built. So Vexus, they're truly offering a lot of innovation with this boat in terms of how they're being built. So Your traditional boat is built in an open mold setting. So it's hand laid, the resin's hand put on, everything's in an open mold. Well, what Vexus is doing is they're infusing these boats with resin in a closed mold setting. That's something we haven't seen in the freshwater segment, multi-species, and it truly adds like the finishing touch to the top-notch boat that we've come to see with these. So your traditional boat, the materials they're using in the Vexus are going to be better, just to be straight up with you. This is the typical fiberglass we've used in a boat. This is called a woven fiberglass material, and this is what they typically lay in a boat, and then they'll chopper gun it, roll resin on by hand, and you get a lot of imperfections and inconsistency in the boat, and a lot of weight variance between each hull going down the line, more weight on one side of the boat than the other, listing and whatnot, and that's what you get with a product like this. So the big thing with this is it's got a X and a Y axis only. So what does that mean? It means it's more pliable. So when resin's applied to this, you get more imperfections in it due to that. Now, what Vexus is incorporating in their boats is it's gonna cost more, and but it's gonna hold up more. So what it is, it's some aerospace grade stuff. So versus that woven with just an X and a Y axis, when resin's applied to that, it moves form. This is gonna hold its form a lot better. So this not only has an X and a Y axis, but it also has a very tight knit and a lot more weave to it. So when resin's applied to this, it holds its form a lot better. Like I said, it costs a lot more to use this stuff, but it does transfer to a more consistent, better product. So what Vexus is doing with this is they're pulling that resin through the fiberglass. So they're vacuum bagging that mold in a closed mold setting instead of an open mold. And they're pulling that resin through the fiberglass instead of rolling it by hand on top. And you won't see a chopper gun in this facility, which a chopper gun is basically just designed to add filler material, and you're not going to see that in these boats. So what does that equate to? So when you use a better product like this and you're pulling that resin through the fiberglass instead of rolling it on by hand, that equates to a more consistent product. So Vexus is basically, you've got a 5-pound variance between each hull going down the line with these Vexus boats, and that's tolerances we haven't seen in the marketplace. And the reason for that is most boats, they're running 60% resin, 40% fiberglass. And it's the resin that cracks, and it's the resin that adds weight, and it's the resin that ultimately has those imperfections or inconsistencies in the hull. Well, it's the fiberglass that adds strength. So what Vexus has done is they've reversed that ratio. So they're incorporating 60% fiberglass, 40% resin, and they're pulling that resin through the fiberglass to get a consistent amount of resin throughout the entire boat. So you have the best built boat, the most consistently finished out boat the world has ever seen, to be honest with you. And that equates to better materials, better process, better people, better boats. So before we get into some measurements, I do think it's important that we have a little story time. Just like a boat's only as good as the dealership that stands behind it, the people behind the Vexus product is definitely a big advantage that you're gonna find. These people have been building boats with over 1,000 years experience. They've proven customer service top-notch with the previous company they were with, Ranger Boats, and you're getting legends that stand behind this product and truly believe in the quality of what they're doing. So guys like Randy Hopper, Keith Daffron, Greg Hopper, Randy's brother, these are family of Forrest L. Wood, and they're carrying on his legacy with these boats. And these guys are driven, they're motivated, and they take care of people. And that's really something that's a lost art in this business, and we're very fortunate to work with such good people. And even a guy like George Little, who is an absolute legend up here, he brought the Ranger multi-species boat, that fiberglass multi-species boat, to the forefront. Everybody was running Lund Barons out on Mille Lacs, and George brought, you know, that first Ranger multi-species boat up here and really changed, you know, how boats are being built and how we fish out of these boats. So, you know, the people behind this product is definitely something that you're gonna wanna consider in a boat. They build resale into these boats, they don't cut corners, and they stand behind their stuff. So Definitely a big advantage with the Vexus is the people behind them, because at the end of the day, that's who you're buying from. Just like a dealership, product's only as good as the dealership that stands behind it. Same with the boat company, and we're lucky to be partnered with Vexus, and really appreciate you guys checking out this video. But without further ado, let's get some dang measurements. Starting up at the bow, that wide pickle fork front deck we were talking about boasts 64.5 inches wide here at the back of the trolling motor pedals. So you've got a very spacious front deck. This is wider than a lot of bass boats we see up at the front. Now measuring the length on this, I'm gonna get one to that T structure that the windshield fastens to. I've got 81 inches to that trim switch up at the bow. And then if I go to that center one, guess we're gonna get a few more. I got 92.5 inches to the end of that center locker. So you can host a prom up here or something, or chuck a couple of musky baits, or throw some jigging wraps. Plenty of room to do it. Looking at the cockpit here, so I'm gonna get a measurement between these two lockers here at the most tapered part. So the widest part of these, get an idea on optimized cockpit space, I've got 53 inches. And on the width in the back where they taper, I've got 49 inches. So that's good on that. If I'm gonna measure let's measure the width of the cockpit here. So from that side to this side, I've got 82.5 inches. So lots of space here. So that's gonna be the width on the measurement on the back deck here too. We'll get an idea on the cockpit length. They've got really nice step pads incorporated into this. So it's, you know, depending how you measure this, you can get a few different measurements. We're just gonna get a basic one to basically the base of where your heel would sit on those step plates. I'm getting 78.5 inches. So from there to there, 78.5. If I'm gonna go all the way to this portion, I've got 85.5 inches to that edge right there. So spacious boat. We're looking at a rear fishing platform if you're doing a lot of casting. So you get 61 there on that shorter measurement, 28 inches. So you can probably tell if it's a 30-inch walleye just by laying it on the back there. And just a lot of space throughout this boat. Like I said, it's got a deeper dead rise. It's gonna sit a little bit higher out of the water. A lot of advantages of that with seeing where you're going, feeling safer away from the water, and tons of storage. Don't wanna forget to measure the inside of these boxes. So we'll start at the front here, measuring the depth on these. So towards the back here, I've got 15 inches tall, so lots of room there. And where it tapers up here, I've got 14 inches. So deep box there. This side's gonna be about the same, so we're not gonna measure that. This center box, we'll get the depth on that one. Very deep boxes. So I've got basically 14 to the bottom, about 15 if you're to fully maximize it, if you had a reel standing up or something on that tree. So lots of room there. And then these back boxes, don't want to skip over those. Very deep. You should be able to put your boxes in the tall way to really optimize this. So those 3700s will fit no problem that way. And I've got that same depth, so 13 and 15 depending on how you're using this box. So let's call it 14 inches deep on that box. Very long, very wide towards the back, and you're really able to make this how you want it. I think we just got a pile of measurements on the boat. If you want us to measure anything else, give us a call. What's that? Easy fuel fill, 60 gallons of gas, designed to take you to Indonesia and back. 400 rated, she'll do 69.7 out of the box. That's a wrap. You just looked at it. It's the DVX22 from Vexus Boats. This is the Advantage series. Thanks so much for sticking with us throughout this video. And let's get yours on order today. Give us a call. Let's get you your custom multi-species stallion ordered up. 685-3410. We love to fish. Our service department knows how to custom rig boats at a very high level. And we look forward to hearing from you. This is the Advantage Series. I'm Aaron Teal, and we'll see you at the lake. All you multi-species nuts, it's time to subscribe to this channel so we can keep showing you awesome boats like this one. Hit the button below and give our guys a call today, 320-685-3410, or visit our website, www.intunemarine.com. And we'll see you later.